to do things a little bit different this time because I missed week 3, so this video is a combination of week 3 and week 4. So we're winding back to week 3. I noticed a few things happening. I can only drink 1 cup of coffee, and I don't necessarily get sick if I drink more than 1 cup, but I had always drank at least, I would say, 3 to 4 cups of coffee, but I didn't really have the desire to drink more than 1 cup of coffee, and some days it was a struggle to finish my cup. So that, I think, is a win. It seems like the things that are considered maybe bad for me, I never really considered coffee bad, but I was also drinking energy drinks in the past, and now I don't drink them at all. But anyway, the things that I kind of considered maybe problematic for me, like overconsumption of caffeine and I would say sweets. I wasn't really big on fast food or anything like that. That was a very once in a while thing, but now I don't want it at all. I feel like all the bad cravings are gone, and that's nice. So that was what I noticed in week 3. The bad thing that happened during week 3. And if you are offended by poop talk, this is not the video for you because I'm going to mention it again in week 4. So you've been warned. There were a couple of times during week 3 where it was difficult to remember to eat. And I would wait so long all day, and then when I would finally stop to eat, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, and I would eat fast. You're not supposed to eat fast when you're on this medication because your digestive tract, everything is slowed down, and your bowel emptying has been slowed way down. The last thing you want to do is eat fast. And I made that mistake a couple of times, and it caught up with me. And by that, I mean, I went 5 days without being able to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that was, that sucked really bad. I didn't even want to eat because I was afraid. I was like, oh gosh, it's already like, there's already a traffic jam, and I don't want to add more cars to this traffic jam. So I was just very much trying to eat light things and just not overwhelm my system. I did buy a supplement that you could take every night before bed, and it's not a laxative. It's called psyllium husk, and it's powdered form, and you just add a fourth of a teaspoon or a fourth of a tablespoon. I don't know. And you just add a little bit to your water and you drink it before you go to bed. And so I did that, and it definitely helped. So that on the 5th day I was able to go. But I kind of want to make it a habit to drink that every night before I go to bed, and also keeping an eye on water intake and making sure that I'm drinking enough water and just helping everything just flow through the system, right? So on to week 4, I had learned my lesson. I had learned my lesson, and I was trying to slow down my eating and not eat as fast, even though I did end up in that same situation where I had forgotten to eat, and by the time I was eating, I was so hungry that I wanted to eat fast, and I had to make a conscious effort not to, vacuum up my food. I will rewind to a time before this whole Semaglutide fun started. I was definitely someone who could go every day, like once a day. I would go numero dos, and that was normal for me. And then being on Semaglutide, I felt like I was kind of going every other day. Not so bad, but definitely took some getting used to. But I thought about it and I was like, okay, I'm eating a lot less and it's moving a lot slower, so why would I still be able to just go once a day? Probably wouldn't be able to. So anyway, after week 3's 5-day constipation fiasco, I decided, I'm going to be careful in week 4. And so I was able to go every other day. And I think that a lot of that had to do with taking the psyllium husk before going to bed every night. On to bigger and better things. And I am really excited to share this part with you guys because I didn't really expect anything to change too much, like with my size, my weight, whatever you want to call it, over the first month, because it was the introductory dose, 0.25 milligrams once a week. And that's just to get you used to the medication. Make sure that you don't have any unbearable side effects. I'll share the weight with you first because that was like maybe the less exciting of the two things, but still, I started at 185 and I am 179 now, so I lost 6 pounds in that first month. Didn't expect to lose 6. I thought probably like 2 pounds, maybe like 3 at the most because of the whole water weight thing and eating less. But yeah, I was pretty pleasantly surprised that I had lost 6 pounds. So yay, a round of applause. But the more exciting thing are the inches. So I measure the smallest part of my waist across the belly button, across the fattest part, which is my lower belly, and then my hips because it kind of incorporates a bit of my butt. So I took my measurements, I would say, I think it was like maybe a week or a week and a half after I started semaglutide. So I took the measurements a little bit late, but better late than never. And I'm glad that I did because I had a bit of a baseline to go off of. So I took those initial measurements on November 4th, and then I took them again on November 25th. So the smallest part of my waist started at 39 inches, and today was 37 inches. 2 inches gone on that. Across the belly button was 40 inches, and today was 38.5, so 1.5 inches lost. Across the fattest part of my lower belly, 43 inches, and today it was 41 inches. 2 inches gone. Yes. And then my hips, 43.5 to 42.5, so I lost 1 inch on my hips. Before I took these measurements, I had a feeling that I was going to have lost inches because my belt was able to go over a notch. And I wear this belt every day, and I have never been able to tighten it. And I was able to tighten it to the next notch. So I thought, something might be changing here. And I am very, very happy that I lost inches. No regrets, even after the 5-day no pooping fiasco thing. Even after that, no regrets. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I took my first dose of 0.5 milligrams last night, and I kind of expected to see some kind of side effect the next morning because that's usually when I notice things. And I didn't have a headache. I haven't had the fatigue hit me yet, so I'm just wondering if maybe that might have been just in the very beginning of this. Not sure, but we'll see in the weeks to come. Thanks for sticking around with me and hearing my good news. So yeah, that is all. See you next time. And I did buy some psyllium husk. I think that's how you say it. I did buy powdered psyllium.